Sandra. Welcome to day 29 of Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month. Hashtag APAM. In today's video, we're going to talk about this question, which is in my Asexual Perspectives book. So I'm reading from this tonight. This is a question I asked 46 of my interviewees. What's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual? This was South. Hello, Michael. Thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you again. So, yeah, I've just started, and this is a question I asked 46 interviewees in my Asexual Perspectives book. Oh, it's a bit bent now. I've got my fingers in position of the bits I need to read out. So, yeah, what's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual? This is South American Anonymous's story. Well, my biggest fear is to end up alone with like 50 cats. For some people, that'd be heaven, wouldn't it? I also hate when people say asexuality doesn't exist. I already heard that from psychologists, sexologists, and doctors. Both have different explanations for why asexuality isn't a thing. And most of the time they imply we are broken or traumatized. Well, I think that's really disgusting that psychologists, sexologists, and doctors can, even say anything like that. I found out I was asexual in 2014 after a counsellor told me I must have sex in order to keep a good guy. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? A counsellor told me that. And that's when I Googled, I love sex, but not kissing. Hi, Martin. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me. So, yeah. So that's when I Googled, I love sex. Sorry, I don't love sex. This is a live video. That's what I Googled. I don't love sex, but I love kissing. I do. Excuse me. It's live. I got my words mixed up. Seriously. So, going back, because Martin's just joined us. I just read out what's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual. I know. I'm so sorry, Martin. I know. It's disgusting. I know. I didn't mean to say that. It's going to happen sometime or other, wasn't it? I get my words mixed up. But there you go. I really don't love sex. Ugh. But yeah, so basically this person who South Americans Anonymous's story, they were saying that they already heard that asexuality doesn't exist from psychologists, sexologists, and doctors. And I was just explaining that I found out I was asexual because a counsellor told me I must have sex in order to keep a good guy. I mean, the only reason I went there was because that was the last sort of problem in my life, was the fact that I wanted a relationship, but I wanted it without sex. And, and even after I went home and Googled, I love kissing, not sex. And I found out about asexuality. It took me about 3 weeks to research to really understand it and where I fell on the spectrum. And, I went back to her and I said, this is written in a book, by the way, if you haven't read it. I said to her, I'd say mine just revolves around not being accepted. Yeah, I'm accepted. My parents accept me. Pretty much everyone accepts me, or if they don't, they're not in my life, basically. I mean, they can't say it doesn't exist because I exist. I've got asexualise.com, which is my website. Oh, yes! Asexualise.com is being turned into an Amazon shop again. It used to be a shop which used to sell loads of Amazon, just specific asexual products on it. And then you could check out on Amazon.com itself. And I've just been getting so many people trying to, it's the old Google files of where all the products were. So many people have been trying to access that. I had like 217 errors on my site recently. And the majority was because people have been trying to look for t-shirts, rings, and all sorts of stuff that was on my asexualise.com site that I no longer had on there because I took it off when I changed themes. After I was hacked last year. It was really bad. It was my other websites that were hacked, actually. Asexualise.com was still mostly okay, but because the other ones are hacked, I didn't want to take any risks with it, so I just got rid of everything and started over again. for security. So I literally got rid of my shop, and people have been like searching for it. And so I'm like, oh, I need to put it back on there. But I've gone one better that just putting back the old stuff on there. I've actually bought a premium theme, and it's a full shop theme. So it's going to be a full-on shop, and I've been starting to do that today. I know I'm going off on tangent from this, but I'm proud that I do all this asexual stuff, because people can't say asexuality doesn't exist, because I have a website where people come that are asexual to it. I've got my asexualizeacademy.com site, which is the world's first online training centre and school for asexuals and asexuality now. I design t-shirts and merchandise for asexuals on Redbubble and Amazon.com, which people buy. And obviously I've got my book out, which there's 46 people in this book and me. So, all you have to do is say, if anyone says, oh, well, you don't exist, say it's funny that, isn't it? Yes. Oh, look, there's 47 asexuals in this book. Of course we don't exist. Makes them look stupid, right? So, yeah. So, of course it's a thing. I mean, asexuality is a sexual orientation that's a lack of sexual attraction, simple as. It's just the fact that we aren't well known across the globe, which is that's one of my huge missions in life, to get us recognised as a sexual orientation in our own right across the globe, so that no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again. I want to do that, and I will continue to do that as much as possible whilst I'm alive, I tell you, because it needs to happen. And I'm going to be one of the people that helps to do that. Definitely. So, this is Claire Evelyn's story. What's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual? I fear that I will be alone. I have long ago come to a point where all my friends are married with children or paired off. And although they didn't want to, I guess I was pushed out of their lives. Yeah, I think it's quite sad, especially for aromantics, otherwise known as aromantics. I pronounce them aromantics. There's aromantics that do hold a lot of, which there's two people on the aromantic spectrum watching this right now. And, a lot of aromantics, I find, they really value friendships so much and seeing their friends a lot, especially if they got close friends. And once those friends get paired off and they have partners and sort of babies or lives of their own, it can be very difficult for the asexual aromantic person to, accept that and to not feel pushed out, because, essentially friends are one of your main core ingredients of, happiness and delight in your life. I mean, we all love having friends, but I think for aromantic asexuals, there is particular emphasis put on how sacred those friendships are, and they can be a huge part of some of your lives. And if that sort of like becomes less and less because they're with someone, I think the aromantic person can feel really left out and lonely and like a bit lost, like, well, where's my friend? I haven't done anything wrong, I've still been me, but why aren't we this way anymore? And I think it's very difficult for aromantics to accept that and come to terms with it and to even understand it. I mean, I'm not aromantic, but I do have friends, and I know that it is really difficult if they do go off and, have other people in their life and you don't see them as much. I mean, I'm thankful that the majority of my friends, actually, well, my close friends, they're single, so I'm quite fortunate in that way. But they've still got other friends, obviously. It's not like, all the attention's on me or anything like that. I've still got other best friends and everything, which is good for them. But I'm quite fortunate in that way. But, one of my best female friends who's not asexual, but she's like been my best female friend probably throughout my life so far, with the way she is with me, the way she'll go out of her way to see me, the way she cares about me. I've known her for over 6 years now, and I really trust her. And she might move away. It might not even be in this country she stays. It might be abroad somewhere. And that's going to be quite difficult for me, because I've never been so close to a female friend before. And that's going to probably hurt a little bit. But I've already prepared for it in my mind that will happen. but it, in case it does, but it is hard. I like the fact that I've got more friends now, particularly asexual friends. A lot of them are guys, actually, to be honest. And I hope to keep making more and more asexual friends, so that, if some friends move away or become less in contact, then I'll still have other friends to be around. And I think that's all you can do, is just keep trying to build on your friends. I know it's really hard to get good quality friends, though. It's not that easy. I mean, I have lots of friends around the globe, you could argue, but, I only have like a really lot of close friends that I could count on probably across two hands, if that. And I'm so grateful that I found out I was asexual, because I've got so many more friends, in-person friends, since I found out I was asexual, and it's wonderful, and they really understand me, and I understand them, and I feel so at peace around them. So yeah, I mean, the guy who lives in Exeter, totally different to me, but we're mates. The guy I met yesterday on the meet, he's such a sweet, adorable guy, and I hope that we can be really good friends and hang out together more and go places. So that will be really cool. My friend Sam, he's amazing. He lives up country at the moment, but he might move in the future. It might be closer with any luck. But I understand if he can't. So, but it's just nice, And Martin, who's watching this, he's an amazing friend. I really like him and get on well with him. And so it's a shame that he lives so far away, but it's still really, really good. And yeah, I just feel really thankful and grateful for those people in my life. I've got an entrepreneur friend online, and although I've never met her in person, she's such a beautiful person, and she messages me regularly, and we really support each other even though we've never met before. And I would say she's really, really awesome friend, like a close entrepreneur friend, I guess, who's really, she makes me feel really positive about all my business stuff that I do, about things I haven't done. Oh yeah, those 3 videos I want to show you, one of which you thought was really romantic. There's a quote from one of those that really relates to this. Yes, I thought those, out of the 3 videos you sent me, Martin, I saw one of them and I thought it was really romantic, which is why I thought you were being romantic with me, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? Really romantic. I think any asexual romantic person would probably think the same thing. But obviously, as you're on the aromantic spectrum, you most likely don't think that way. Possibly. But then you are demi-romantic, so I don't know. But yes, it was very, very romantic. If you can call someone a friend, you will stay bonded no matter what. See, that's really cute. If you can call someone a friend, you'll stay bonded no matter what. I think so long as you maintain the friendship, yes. I've had people in the past, a very long time ago at school, that were supposed to be my best friends and they weren't. They were not treating me right. But at the time, I didn't realise what a good friend looked like. And so therefore, I guess they were false friendships based more on one direction, as in me caring about them more, me fitting in with them more, and me being a bit scared around them as well. But yeah, in an adult sense, but I want a romantic relationship foundation based on that deep bond, because at the end of the day, a romantic relationship isn't going to last if it doesn't have that romantic bond. If I've got more deeper connection and bond with the people who are my friends, then to me, a romantic relationship would be not quite right if all my friends are more bonded to me than the romantic relationship, if you know what I mean. It'd be a bit like, well, I'm not with the right person because I can't develop this bond, because I really need a deep bond, to be happy. I don't, I get emotionally connected to people very quickly and can get emotionally attached to people very quickly, as you know, but I'm really good at managing that at the moment. But I still need you know, I still need a bond. It's only a bond rather than just a connection, a bond that's going to keep me happy with that person. If they're connected to me emotionally, but they're not maintaining the bond, that won't work for me. It would just be upsetting, and I would feel like I was losing them all the time and I wasn't with them, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think the best, you know, I have got, you know, I know, like, for example, me and Sam will always be friends. I knew I'd be friends with him forever, just have to see him after 3 days. And that's really weird. I don't normally trust guys just like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Eat all mug. Sorry, I collect them. Thought I just mentioned it. So yeah, I you know, I don't usually trust someone for a long time. It took me 5 years to trust my best female friend. But with Sam, who's actually admin of 3 groups that I'm admin of, I just trusted him straight away. It's really strange, but it's good. And the guy I met yesterday, he was so adorable. Seriously, he's romantic, but he's biromantic, so he's into guys and girls with a preference for guys. So yeah, I wouldn't, you know, be suitable for him in that way. But for a British guy, he was very adorable, very nice person, very lovely person. I loved his bag. He had a Buzz Lightyear bag on, a Buzz Lightyear rucksack. It was amazing because I've been to Disneyland Paris last year for my 21st Mindset birthday, and they had this massive, like, hologram of Buzz Lightyear when I was going to play on the Buzz Lightyear game, and part of it was in English and part of it was in French or whatever it was, and it was just like incredible. Like, it was just like amazing, and I just loved it so much. I wish I was back there again. And he had Mindset birthday, 21st Mindset birthday. So basically, I have a birth certificate age, Michael, which I don't talk about because it's not really who I am and I don't like it, and it's just a piece of paper to me. And then I have the mindset of a 21-year-old, and I live like a 15-year-old. If you saw around my room, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's cuddly toys everywhere and sparkly things and everything, and I live like a teenager, and I absolutely love it. I'm the happiest I've ever been. Prior to 2012, I used to suffer with depression. And then things in 2012 changed my life. A couple of major events changed my life. And then I decided to just live the teenager life that I live now. And I love it. I live on my own. I've lived on my own for years. I wouldn't want to, even though if I had a romantic relationship, I still want to live separately because I love it. I mean, I got my fingers still in the book at the moment. I don't know if you can see, but look, I've got literally, these are all that actually hot water bottles in summer. Look. You can see pictures of me when I've been to theme parks, and there's me speaking to the Queen. I've met and spoke with Her Majesty the Queen in St James's Palace, which is those 2 photographs right on the end. I don't know if you can see that. And then as well as my cuddly toys, I've been to Harry Potter Studios. You know, I've got Mr. Tickle from Mr. Man. Oh man, and now I'm swiveling you right round. Sorry. Oh my gosh, it swiveled you right round now. What has it done that for? Orientation, rotate device back. Oh jeez. This is a live screen. Sorry guys. This is live video for you. Man. That was a bit. Oh gosh. I'm trying to keep my fingers in the book at the same time as speaking to you. And now you're going to go really dizzy on me. Sorry. This is why you should never do that on a live video. Like, decide to take the iPad while you still get your fingers in a book. It's not a good idea. It makes people feel seasick. So yeah, I live like a teenager and I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the absolute world. So last year, it was a very special birthday for me, and my dad paid for me to go to Disneyland Paris by Eurostar because I don't fly on a plane. And it was amazing, and I had the time of my life, and I had a 21st Mindset birthday. So you can see in the back, I don't know if you can see, oh, my finger's really big, but look at the back cages, sorry, look up there, yeah, that's my 21st birthday key that my best female friend that I just spoke about bought me, and behind there's a 21st mug and a 21st coaster, and I just keep them up all the time because I love it. I love being 21. And I had a party in my hotel room myself. So I had balloons. I managed to get static on the wall, and they stuck to the wall with no glue or anything, just by pure static. And I had all my table, I had like birthday princess, I think it was like that. You see that? It's my guinea pig banner. My guinea pigs live at my parents' now, so that's why I don't have guinea pigs in there anymore. But this birthday banner, birthday princess, I had one like that. I think it was the same one, but not the exact same one, but a replica of it. I had that in my Disneyland Paris room, and you know, it went all the way around the table, and it was just incredible. And I had confetti, like foil confetti all over it for 21. I had 21 balloons everywhere, and I had a big 21st birthday badge that I wore all around the park on my actual birthday day. So I had 4 days, 5 nights, 4 days in Disneyland Paris and 2 nights in London. So I was away for a whole 7 days just for me. And I had the most amazing time of my life. And if I had the money, I would easily do it again. I adore it. I could have lived there. I would have been in bliss. I really, really would have been in bliss. Heaven. It's great. Anyway, I'm going to go on to a different story now. So, Anne's story. What's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual? When I first found out about my demisexuality, I immediately discussed the implications with my boyfriend, fretting over whether he would still want me around over someone more, well, typically heterosexual. He made clear that he wouldn't be happier with anyone else. Once that was established, I easily accepted the lot, and it made a lot of my memories make a great deal more sense in retrospect. Now, isn't that interesting? Because obviously, I run the grey asexual and demisexual dating group on Facebook. I also run the Asexualise No Sex Ever dating group. So I run 2 completely different ends of the spectrum groups for dating. And it's for trying to find a serious and committed relationship. I also run Asexual Friends. So if people don't want to date, be in a relationship, which obviously a lot of aromantics don't, then they can find friends in the Asexual Friends, and they can stay in the Asexual Friends forever, however long they want. But it's interesting that a person who's demisexual is still really worried about being in a relationship with a heterosexual, because obviously they do experience sexual attraction when a strong, deep emotional bond has been formed, and it's usually needed to be maintained to maintain that feeling. Then it's very, very interesting that it's in my book that Anne is actually very worried about that, because she would have thought that a demisexual, once they're in a relationship, you know, wouldn't have those sort of thoughts come up, because they're the closest you would get to being sexual without being sexual, if you know what I mean. They're like this is where the grey A's and the demisexuals are where the asexual spectrum ends, if you like, and where the sexual one begins. So that's really interesting. I think it's really important to put stories like this in a book, because there's a lot of people who think that demisexuality should have nothing to do, or is nothing to do, or shouldn't be involved in asexuality whatsoever. And I really understand their point of view, in the sense it kind of dilutes the fact of lack of sexual attraction being the main reason to be asexual. It kind of like, probably people feel it's a bit dilutes it, you know. It's like, but to all intents and purposes, a real, true, genuine demisexual is someone who just like can't feel that sexual attraction unless they do have that strong, deep emotional bond. And it's more than just the average heterosexual, if you like, or homosexual, bisexual, pansexual feeling and process. So I think it's really important. I mean, this is why we're doing Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, because it's to celebrate our diversity across the spectrum and our differences within it. And I think that's really important to know that. So this is Isadora's story. What's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual? If you can call someone a friend, you will stay on it. Oh, bless you. I'm still getting the messages come through that I saw earlier from you two. Thank you, Martin, and thank you, Michael. Right, so this is Isadora's story. I think it would have to be accused of lying about it, given my history of engaging in sex. Now, this is a really interesting story. Obviously, that would come from someone not understanding the difference between sexual attraction and behaviour. But it bothers me that they would then be declined to listen to other asexuals they encounter. I don't want someone taking my experience and applying it to other asexuals, rather like how someone could tell a lesbian she's not really homosexual because she's had sex with men. I just really wish more people understood that what you do is very different from your attraction. Yeah, it's true. Sexual behaviour is not the same as sexual attraction. However, they can go hand in hand, which is why people get really confused, and I don't blame them. You know, I have some sexual behaviour, and even I find it hard to understand myself sometimes. I'm like, it's kind of like weird for me. I don't really get it. You know, I don't really understand myself. I mean, I do analyse it, so I fathom myself out, but I go through this weird situation where, you know, I can have sexual behaviour, but I still have no sexual attraction. I'm conscious. I live a very conscious life because I've done a lot of personal and professional development work. So a lot of people, when they think about things, a lot of it's subconscious, you know. They just think random thoughts came up. They deal with it at the time. I live a very conscious life. So I'm consciously aware of my behaviour. I'm consciously aware of my actions. I'm consciously aware of my thoughts and my feelings. And, you know, and they do fluctuate sometimes. The sexual attraction never fluctuates. I don't experience sexual attraction. I don't have a desire for sex at all. That doesn't change. But I do have high levels of arousal, and depending on what's happening, and it's usually from my mind rather than physical stuff. Obviously, if some guy was touching me, then it probably would rouse me too, if I like the guy. You know, it would rouse me too, but I mean, I wouldn't just let anyone do that to me. But, you know, but it's rather to do with the mind. Like, I can just be aroused thinking of the word aroused. Or I don't like sex, I hate it, but if someone mentions the word sex, or I have to mention it in videos sometimes that can do that. And so it's really weird. And then sometimes when I'm speaking to other asexuals and I find out they're on the more sexual end of the spectrum, or they're quite sexual in behaviour, you know, I'm okay with some of it. And then other times I just feel overwhelmed. Like, it's too much for me. I don't want this sexual talk. I don't want this sexual behaviour. I just want to cuddle my cuddly toys. And so I kind of fluctuate backwards and forwards between, like, when I went out on Tuesday night this week. Well, I think it's last week now because we're just gone from Sunday, or we're just going, aren't we? I think I've been on this video 27 something minutes, so I think it's coming up Monday soon, so it'll be, you know, last week shortly. You know, I had real sexual behaviour on when I was dancing with this guy, because I like sexy dancing because I'm a good dancer. I love dancing. I've got bronze in freestyle disco dancing. I love dancing. I love expressing myself with my body too. But, you know, at the last hour when I was dancing with the guy, it got a bit boring for me because he was behind me a lot of the time, and it was just, it's not the dancing that really got boring. It's not the atmosphere. It wasn't it was the fact that I wasn't facing him, you know. I kind of, like, you know, in the past I've had sex, and to be quite honest, my ex used to turn me around quite a lot during that, and I used to be like, well, I just want to see your face. Which might be an asexual thing, you know? It's like, well, I want to see your face. I'm not bothered about doing all these weird movements and things that he wanted to get up to and try all these different positions. I just let him get on with it a lot of the time. But you know, it's like, I like to see a guy's face because that's how I get attracted to him aesthetically, with his face. You know, I don't want sex again. But do you know what I mean? I'm not really bothered about him from the waist down, to be quite honest. And so, yeah, I just know that it's tough. I mean, you know, because some people, they lie about being asexual as well, and they do have sexual behaviour, and they are sexually attracted. And, you know, these people are on asexual dating sites, some of them in asexual groups. And so sometimes it's really hard to navigate who's telling the truth and who's not. You know, and if people looked at me on the dance floor, they probably wouldn't think I was asexual. But he knew I was he didn't know I was asexual. I know there are people who didn't. I know that, So with this guy, I mean, I didn't tell him I was asexual on Tuesday when I saw him, but I did say, can we be friends at the beginning? And I've had time to think about and reflect on when he said, oh, I knew from the moment I met you were an honest person. I reflected back on it. It was because I said about being his friend. That was one of the first things I said to him. So he knew I wasn't after sex. And I didn't realise that. And afterwards, it made me feel a lot calmer. I thought, oh, you respected that because you left and you didn't expect sex of me. You wanted to see me again, though, because you like my dancing, which is not surprising. Incidentally, I've tried to watch porn before and found I'm only comfortable seeing is when all you can see is a face. Yeah, my messages are quite far behind on some of them. I saw them and then it's like I've seen them for a second time, some of them. But yeah, yeah, I don't like porn. I mean, you're brave to try it, I think. I can't stand it. I hate it. It's disgusting to me. I know, in my book, there are people that watch it, so I can't, it's up to people what they do. But personally, I'm disgusted. I hate it. It's horrible. But it's really interesting you wanted to see their face. Because that's how I get attracted to a guy. It's his face. I'm usually attracted to younger foreign guys and it's their face. I love kissing. I mean, I'm a kissing addict nearly. I want to snog their face off, like. Do you know what I mean? Which is like, and then when I kiss a guy passionately, I've got sexual behaviour. My behaviour is more sexual than a sexual guy. Sometimes, like I did date a heterosexual guy last year for 2 months, and he didn't really know how to kiss, pretty much because he was sex driven and not into kissing. And I found out afterwards he wasn't. I found out during when I was with him that he wasn't very romantic. So I think he was a sexual aromantic person, not asexual. Obviously, definitely not asexual, but a sexual aromantic. It does nothing for me, but I wanted to see what the fuss is about. Yeah. I mean, some people who are, are you into Asian brown men? Yes, I am into Asian brown men, Ronald. Thank you for your comment. I actually love coloured skin. I adore it. I find it very, very, very aesthetically beautiful, to be honest with you. Yes. In the past, when I had heterosexual relationships, I've had three foreign boyfriends in the past, which probably not a lot of people know about me. So I have actually had heterosexual boyfriends. Yes. And I'm coloured, Sri Lankan. Any way we could get in touch? How old are you, Ronald? You're Sri Lankan. Wonderful, but how old are you? I need a young guy in his 20s. I don't get attracted to older guys. So how old are you, Ronald? Like, you can email me asexualise@gmail.com if you want. That's my email address, which should be. But if you're like past 30 or if you're in your 40s, I usually wouldn't be attracted because I'm attracted to younger foreign guys. 20 in a few months. Oh, awesome. You're 19. Oh, sorry. That's really nice. Yeah. Sorry. See, I'm going very shy now. Do you see the difference in me? As soon as I'm like, there's a foreign guy that comes into my life, I'm like, oh, asexualise@gmail.com. ASEXUAL.com. If you want to speak to me. Yeah. So, down below, I'll genuinely text you right now. You mean email me right now? Okay. But, like, how would you ever meet me if you're in Sri Lanka and I'm over here? That's the only problem. Yeah, asexualize. Yes, that's spot on. But you see, the only thing is, Ronald, is being, like, nearly 20, is kind of like, how would we ever meet? Unless you studied in the UK and had the money to. That's the only problem. But yeah, sure. Email me. Why not? But you see, this is usually I kind of like go for guys who are 24 plus because they know what they want in their life and they can try and get over here because they've got some money behind them. That's the only thing I would say. But yeah, email me. Are you asexual, Ronald, by any chance, or are you actually heterosexual, because that's the other thing. I am asexual and I don't even know if you're asexual or heterosexual. What's BRB? What's BRB? Biromantic? What's BRB? I don't know what BRB is. Because I'm like asexual. I don't like sex. So even if you email me, like, unless you're asexual, be right back. Going to email you. Haha. Be right back. Okay, Martin. Thank you. Oh my gosh. This is definitely live. You can tell, can't you? It's definitely live. See, I get 19-year-olds attracted to me. I had a 18-year-old attracted to me last year, but he wasn't sexual. He was sexual, and he wasn't good. So I don't speak to him anymore. But yeah. But yeah, it's like, how would you get over here? Right, okay. So, I don't even know if this guy, are you asexual, Ronald, or are you sexual? Never mind. Anyway, oh, I'm going to pick another one. Victoria's story. What's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual? My greatest concern is that asexuality will remain invisible and that I will have to have hour-long conversations and answer rude questions for the rest of my life every time I come out to someone. Yeah. I mean, it is a bit annoying, isn't it? If you go like, it's like, for example, that guy that I was dancing with on Tuesday, you know, I mean, at some point, if I do go back and see him again, at some point, I'm probably going to have to get in the discussion about the fact I don't like sex. But at the moment, I asked him for friendship and we're just like being sexy friends together, I suppose, when we dance, and that's it. But I mean, it's very intimate dancing. It's not something I would usually do with just my friends, obviously. It's very intimate, very, very hugely intimate. So yeah, but it's like, you know, I've kind of been rehearsing in my head if I do come out to him as asexual, or the fact that I, you know, even if I say to him, I don't like sex, and it's like, I can imagine it be going, well, oh, well, why don't you like sex? And they'll be like, oh, well, why would I like sex? You know, and it's like, and then be like, but you know, if that's what he's after, I mean, he's probably after that with lots of other women anyway. But it's kind of like, you know, it's like you get the Spanish Inquisition, don't you? Sometimes, like, oh, why don't you like sex? Like once I had this guy. This is when I did go clubbing a few years ago. I went with someone, but he was heterosexual actually, and he got in a mood with me because basically I said, that's right, we had a date, and I said I couldn't have sex. I didn't want sex. And he said, that's fine, I can be with other women. And I'm like, no, that's not on. And then he messaged me afterwards saying, well, we'll just be friends and go clubbing together as friends. I just emailed you. Thank you, Ronald. Are you asexual though, Ronald? Because I do need an asexual guy. Preferably in the UK would be nice. But thank you. I will look at that later on. Unless you really want me to go in there now and have a look at it online, on air, but you probably won't because it's personal and there's probably other personal stuff in there. But so yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about conversation. So even if I did say to this guy about being asexual, it's like, you know, it's like he's probably going to say, well, you know, give me a like, you know, hour-long conversation, like, or not even hour long, it'll probably just be a debate, won't it? Like, why aren't you asexual? But I was going back to this anyway, this situation while I was clubbing years ago, and there was a Bangladesh guy that I did date, and then he said he wanted me to be his girlfriend, and I said, well, I can't have sex, and he said he can go have it with other women. I'm like, well, no, you can't go and have it with other women and be with me. That's not on. Like, get gone type thing. And then he said, oh, we'll just be friends and go out clubbing. Of course, when he said just be friends and go out clubbing, yes, I am, though I'm not in the UK, but I feel the instant attraction towards you. So I reckon we see how things go. Okay, Ronald. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. You can tell I'm going red now and smiling and blushing. Thank you. Okay. Right. So, I don't know what to say now. See, I'm like a little kid. I said that my worry or concern is not being accepted. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is I don't worry about whether people accept me or not, because, and aren't you blushing like a rose? Oh, thanks, Ronald. Yeah. I do get very girly around younger guys and kind of lose all sense of like, what the heck am I doing? Especially on a live video, you caught me completely off guard. So it's like, I feel like I'm a little schoolgirl now. Like, my romance is going boo, boo, boo. Right, okay, I need to get back to being serious about this. So anyway, I was... Oh, I don't give my age out. I don't give my birth certificate age out, but I am older than you. Yeah, so you're all right with that one. But yeah, I don't give my birth certificate age out because I don't like talking about it because it's not who I am. And people don't judge me on my birth certificate age. It's nothing who like I am. Like when I was older in birth certificate age, I was younger. Sorry, when I was younger in birth certificate age, I was older. That's all right. When I was younger in birth certificate age, I was older. Now I'm older in birth certificate age, I'm younger. I mean, if someone wants to date me and have a relationship with me, oh no, it's fine. If someone really wants to date me and be in a relationship with me and serious about me and can get actually into the UK, then I tell them if they really want to know. But just people have a different view of me sometimes. Yeah, people have a different view of me sometimes. It's ridiculous. It's like, so Ronald, you just come in the middle of a conversation, so I'll update you in a minute. But basically, there was this heterosexual guy I was dating with last Tuesday, and he asked me my age initially. 4 times he asked me, and I wouldn't tell him. I said, I've come here to dance and have a good time, not to be asked that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and you know, and then at one point he stopped dancing with me, so I went and danced with someone else. I thought, well, if age is an issue to you, or maybe it's not, maybe it is, and that's why you stopped dancing. You'd rather be with kindergarten girls, whatever. Do you know what I mean? If you'd rather be with girls that look like they're really, really young and that's your type, fine. I'll just go and dance with someone else. I'm not going to sit and sulk the fact. Yeah, I'm sorry for completely interrupting. The power of attraction is... Ronald, you're so sweet. Anyway. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say to that. So, yeah, I'm kind of like, you have to keep up with me because I go off on tangents a lot. And I think I'm on 3 different tangents at the moment. And this is live. So I hope you guys are keeping complete track of this and not lost what I'm talking about. So I was originally talking about the fact that Victoria's story. Yes, I am blushing more. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh man, I can't even speak now. This is how I get because I get too romantic and I get speechless. See, this is for any aromantic people that are watching. This is what happens when I feel romance for someone I haven't even seen. Is this romance? Yes. It's like when someone really likes you and they're talking that way, you kind of feel romance, but it's kind of weird because it's not usually like that, but it can be like that instant. It's like I feel romance for someone who I don't know because they've been really sweet and the things they're saying is quite romantic. So yeah, I'm kind of blushing and feeling a little bit like a girl right now, which is to do with romance. You're sort of see, if you didn't know what romance was, you're sort of experiencing my facial expressions. Yeah, this is what's good about asexual romance. It's beyond physicality. Yes, this is true. There's my Eeyore mug again. Right, okay. So I was talking about the fact I was dancing with that Indian guy. And then, yeah, I was saying that if I do go back and to say that I'm not interested in sex, then he might probably question as to why that is. And, I feel like saying, well, why not? Why should people be interested in sex? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I was telling you about the story about a Bangladesh guy, a heterosexual guy that I did date, and he wanted me as a friend. He wanted me as a girlfriend, and then to sleep with other women. I said it's not on, so forget about that. And then he invited me out as a friend. Well, when a heterosexual guy invites you out as a friend after they fancied the pants off you and been snogging you, it's highly unlikely they really mean they want to be friends. What they mean to say is, I'm saying I want to be your friend and you'll find me so irresistible, which is what he did when we were walking in the city. He thought that it would be so difficult for me to resist him that I would just go back to him and think that, have sex with him or be his girlfriend anyway. And he can go have sex with other women, which obviously wasn't going to happen. So when we went to this nightclub together, there was a drummer there. Foreign drummer. So I decided to start talking to the drummer because obviously the Bangladesh guy I was with was supposed to just be my friend by then. And I'm like, well, if we're just friends, you can talk to whoever and I'll talk to whoever. So I started chatting to the drummer before he even went on, because he was like a DJ, like live drummer that night, like a special guest. And so I was chatting away to him, like chatting him up, probably, people would say. And then the Bangladesh guy got so peed off. And then he's going, oh, you see that woman over there? Go and speak to that woman for me. I'm like, no. He's like, go and speak to that woman for me. Tell her I'm interested in her. I said, no, if you want to do that, you go and do that. Eventually he said, oh, he said he went to get a drink, but then he went off to the toilet or something and didn't even speak to her. And then he came back and he was going, oh, I'm going home soon. And this was before 11 o'clock at night. We only got there just after 10. And I'm like, okay then. And he thought I was going to go and walk with him home. And I was just like, that's fine. I'm going to go home. Off you go. I'm staying, having a good time. Do you know what I mean? And then later on, so he went home and he was miserable and he texted me going, oh, blah, 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 blah. He was in a right foul mood. And I just defriended him on Facebook. I thought, I'm not going to have a stupid guy like that in my life who, you know, he had his chance with me. He'd rather be having sex with other women than have a girlfriend who doesn't want sex and be faithful to her. So that's his choice, isn't it? And then later on that night, there was a coloured guy, black guy, I think, pretty much. And he said he was a security guard in the nightclub, but off-duty security guard. Now, I didn't really believe this story, but I thought, well, I'll just go along with it. And then he started saying to me, oh, well, we can be friends and I can come round your house. And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, don't you have friends that come over your house? I'm like, nope, my friends don't come in my house. I meet my friends in a public place. I go out for them, which is still true, actually. I mean, I have one best female friend, really best female. I do have other female friends that are like best friends as well, but I have one particular uber best female friend who I told you I'd known for 6 years. She has never been to my flat, ever. Because it's super small and I have one bed here. You know, there's no, apart from the stool I'm sat on and camping chairs, which you can see a little bit of there, a camping chair. I don't have anywhere for people to sit. There's a studio flat. There's no sofa in here. I don't see how people are more attracted to a physical act than intimacy, romance, and a strong attraction connection. Yeah, well, they are, but yeah, it's not good. It doesn't bind them together, Ronald. It's a really good point, because I was actually reading up. I was reading up about heterosexual dating scene stuff, yeah, and how to get and keep a guy, which is a normal alpha heterosexual male, because that's what they're all based on. And it was all about, it's the emotional connection that keeps them with you, that stops them from straying and going off and stops them being with other people. And this is for heterosexuals I'm talking about. So even though they're heterosexual, to all intents and purposes, they've got to have a strong emotional connection and bond to keep them together, that person. Like, sexual attraction might have got them together, but unless they've got that strong, deep emotional connection and bond, and they value the other person and respect them, they won't stay with them. They'll have affairs or go off with someone else. So that was very interesting. Very, very, very interesting to read that. I was reading blog posts. I was watching videos. Because, you know, obviously I like to improve myself all the time. And I might go back dancing, and I don't know whether I'll dance with that heterosexual guy again or not. I mean, I might, but I kind of like want to talk to him and say that the last part of the dancing, I wasn't, I preferred the rest of the dancing. The last part was, like, I would have rather have been around the front of him, to be quite honest, a lot more. I was trying to explain that at the time, but it is hard in a club to try and like explain that. But it's kind of like this week I might not go because my neck's been giving me jit, because I've had problems with my neck since I went there, and I've got my asexualise.com site. I'm changing into a amazon.com shop again. And also I think it's good for him to miss me, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? In the traditional heterosexual dating stuff I've been reading online, it's all about making the guy value your worth and miss you. So I mean, it's heterosexual dating we're talking about. I mean, I just want a guy who'll love me and be into me and want to kiss and cuddle me and be romantic and miss me, like, without even like trying. Do you know what I mean? The heterosexual dating scene is just like, it's a lot of like psychology and do this and do that, and it's like, geez, why can't you just enjoy yourself and relax around a person and just automatically value your worth? But in the heterosexual dating, these people, like, I'm doing it, I was watching it from a coach that's coaching women about guys. You know, it's kind of like you have to go through all these. Yeah, I may seem like a flirt by saying this, but you're giving off an energy that's so attractive right now. You've made my night. That's so funny. Oh, dearie me. So yeah, well, I can't even speak anymore. So where was I talking about? So I can't even remember what I was saying. See what I get like with romance? It's just I can't speak, which usually I've got a lot to say, as you know. Back to blushing, lovely. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say. I can't speak. I can't speak. Look, I'm getting speechless. But I was trying to say, like, in the heterosexual dating world, you know, you've got to, like, sort of do all these things in order to keep a guy interested. Can't wait to converse in private. That sounds so asexy naughty, by the way, Ronald. Very naughty. How are we going to converse in private? By email or by something else? Oh my. What type of asexual are you, Ronald? You haven't answered my question on that yet. Are you asexual? I presume you are, from what you say. Oh no, I meant literally just asking. Just talking. Oh right, okay. That's kind of what I meant, talking. But is that by email or something else? Anyway, I digress. So yeah, what was I saying? So back to the guy who said he was a security guard, but in the nightclub, he said he was a security guard, but I didn't really believe him. And he started asking me all these questions about when I said to him I don't like sex. Thank you. When I said I don't like sex, this guy who's who said he was a security guard, but I didn't really believe him, off-duty security guard. You see, I told him that I didn't like sex, and then he started asking, why don't I like sex? So he said about coming round to my place, and I said no. And he said, oh, it's what friends do. I'm like, no. And then I said, I don't like sex. And he was like asking me all these questions. So, why don't you like sex? What about oral sex? If a guy was with you, how would he get pleasure? I said he can pleasure himself. The guy's face was just like, oh, I can't believe you said that. I'm like, yes, I did say that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, if a heterosexual is with an asexual, right, and they are highly sexual, the only, you know, if you're asexual, for example, and if you're asexual, and yeah, it's really funny. If you're asexual and you do end up in a relationship with a heterosexual and you don't want sex and you need, you know, and they've got to be faithful to you because you want monogamy with them, then they're going to have to relieve their sexual frustration or sexual attraction, arousal urges somehow. Do you know what I mean? So most of them will have to masturbate. It's just a fact. They will have to do that in order to relieve that feeling. When you can't do that with them, if you're a sexually repulsed asexual or someone who's not wanting or willing to have sex with them. Do you see what I mean? So, you know, this guy was asking me, a question about, so what's a guy supposed to do then? I mean, to me, it's obvious. If a guy, you know, pleasure himself, innit? Take care of yourself, mate. I'm not. And so, you know, it's like that guy, that heterosexual guy I did date for 2 months last year. He said it started saying the card to me, like, oh, I like oral sex better than penetrative sex, but I don't think you'd even want to do that. And I'm like, not really, no. Do you know what I mean? I'm not into that. It's like I've done all that. It's not like I haven't done it and I couldn't do it if I really, but I just like, you know, I don't want to do oral sex. I don't want to do that type of thing. I don't want to have sex. Do you know what I mean? It's just like not who I am. But it's very difficult if the only people... It's funny when a full-on hetero tries to understand asexuality. It is funny, but it's also quite annoying at the same time. Because it's like, it is funny in a sense, but it's kind of like, I try and use my tone of voice really strongly with them. So if they're saying stuff to me about, you know, if they're asking me loads of questions, it's annoying as hell. Yeah, if they're asking me loads of questions though, I just be really strong and I make it seem so obvious, like what they're meant to do, that it makes them seem silly to even start asking me the stuff. So if I say, well, they pleasure themselves, do you know what I mean? Because they get rather defensive and offended. Yeah. But if I start, yeah, I don't know why they get defensive and offended. I mean, asexuals are awesome, aren't we? I mean, we don't want sex. We're the best thing for them to be around because we're not going to go off with someone else. Do you know what I mean? We're going to be faithful for a bond if they treat us right. So it's kind of like, what is with that, you know? They just don't get it. They can't compute in their head that person doesn't want sex. To them, it's like an innate part of who they are. But asexuality is an innate part of who we are. We don't experience sexual attraction, so that's who we are. Do you know what I mean? It's just like we're just as cute and good looking as anyone else. I mean, look at you. Eye candy and smile. Thank you, Ronald. I'm very much loving. Okay, I'll stop now. Eye candy and smart. That's really nice of you. I'm glad you noticed the smart bit. I'm going to read one more out about what's your deepest fear, concern, or worry about being asexual. And I'll probably have to wrap up for tonight because I've been on here for nearly an hour. I don't want to annoy you. Right, so being alone, this is what Kenneth Williams' story says. Being alone forever, I crave a romantic partner, or at least the aspects of it, such as cuddling and kissing. I have no problem with immediately being written off as a potential due to my asexuality. Yeah, you've missed too much, Ronald. I've been here nearly an hour. Where were you? Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button if you haven't already. Then you'll get notified every time I'm on a new video live. Anyway, I'm going to start that again. Kenneth Williams' story. Being alone forever, I crave a romantic partner, or at least the aspects of it, such as cuddling and kissing, which I do too. Thank you. I have no problem with immediately being written off as a potential partner due to my asexuality. I know sex is important to the majority of people, and that most people wouldn't be okay in a relationship without it. I have never met another ace though, and I fear I will never meet one. And that if I do, we will still be too different in personality and our interests. Yeah, I think that's a really good one to talk about actually before I go. Because I have asexual friends, including asexual guy friends, right? The majority of us, pretty much, I think all of my asexual guy friends, well, the majority actually, YouTube is saying you've sent too many messages. Oh, bless. So yeah, basically, I think it's a really important point because I've got, I do asexual meetups in my country, by the way, Ronald, because you probably didn't know that. So I hold asexual meetups in my city of Exeter in the UK, and people come from all over the UK to them. Like, they're not huge, like the most I've ever had is 10 people, but the people are quality people. They come back time and time again because they love my meetups. And I had a mini meetup yesterday, a very, very, very small one, which was a guy who lives in my city, and also a young guy who lives not far away. The young guy, I'd never met offline before. He was really cute person, adorable person. Not my type because he's not foreign, but he was really, you know, for a British guy, he was a nice, really nice guy and quite adorable. And he's biromantic, but more attracted to guys anyway. But, you know, I'll probably meet up with him, hang out with him. I already said about, because I loved his socks, right? He had fish on his socks. And I said, damn competition. And I said about going to the aquarium with him. So we might go to aquarium together sometime. So that'll be great. And yeah, so pretty much all the asexuals that come to my meetups were, I mean, I don't think he was on dating sites, but pretty much all the other people that come to my meetups, the majority of them are on asexual dating sites. We're all looking for a relationship, but trying to find an asexual match is so difficult. I mean, it's astronomically difficult because we've all got different wants, likes, needs, and dislikes. So, for example, my BFF Sam, right? Well, I'm 19 and foreign, plus I can cook, so I'm sure there's a plus, haha. Yeah, but how are you going to get in this country? That's the problem. I have loads of foreign asexual guys like me, but they can never get in this country. Do you know what I mean? Because they can't get a visa. And it's like, you know, and then they start asking me to help them get a visa. It's like, no, you want a visa, you go and get it yourself. I'm not doing that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, I don't like cooking. I can't stand it. I can't stand any housework whatsoever. I don't do housework for a guy. I don't cook, clean, or do any housework for a guy. I live like a teenager. You know, teenagers don't do housework. Do you know what I'm saying? We just don't. And so I hardly do any for myself. I use paper plates, seriously, and chuck them away. At the moment, I've got POW, WOW, and all this type of thing, like superhero style plates. Paper plates are really cool. And so yeah, going back to this, you know, like I think it's really difficult to get an asexual match. So for example, the guy that's in my city, he's just my mate. Me and him are both on asexual dating sites, been on there for a while, not attracted to each other in the slightest. I mean, we're very much opposite. You couldn't get much more opposite people than me and him, but we're mates and we get on as mates, you know, and he's a better friend than he used to be, and so am I probably to him. So, you know, and we meet up outside of meets every, like, you know, couple of months in between or something, so that's really nice. But we're very much opposite, no attraction there whatsoever. My BFF Sam, right, he's quite good looking for a British guy, and he's nudity to repulse like I am, which is great, and he's romantic, but he's a pan romantic with a preference for men, and also he's not foreign, and I love kissing and he doesn't, so we're not compatible in that way. But hanging out with him's a blast. I just laugh so much, and he can be like a kid like I can, so it's awesome. Really trust him. And then my friend Martin, who may or may not still be watching this, he's demi-romantic, and yeah, I can't say too much about him because he's watching this, but that's a difficult one. So he's demi-romantic, so yeah, he's not foreign. Kissing is amazing, especially when it's passionate. Oh, I love passionate kissing, Ronald. That's one of my favourite things to do ever in a relationship. It's so awesome. So yeah, I don't like sex, but I love kissing. So yeah, so Martin, he's not yay plus Martin's not into kissing at all. Well, not me anyway. I don't know if he's into kissing someone else. And he's demi-romantic and thinks of me as a really, really good friend, even though sometimes his behaviour is a bit like romantic towards me. I would say a lot romantic towards me sometimes. But there you go. But that's not how he sees it. Probably because he's aromantic and doesn't think like that. But yeah, he's in aesthetically, like looks, he's not my type because he's not foreign, obviously. And you know, like I felt like hugging him before, but not kissing him. I've never felt like kissing him. But I think he's really, really super sweet guy. And I do have a really strong bond with him. Really strong bond with him, which is lovely. I feel quite comfortable around him. I get on really well with him. So yeah. And he doesn't like as old a woman as I am. Spending a literal hour just kissing on a couch. The kissing gets more passionate with time. Is as good as it gets. Apologies, that was too vivid. I do like kissing, I have to say. It's one of my favourite things to do. Kissing without sex is absolute bliss to me. I mean, seriously. Absolute bliss. But I haven't found the right asexual kissing partner yet. I just haven't, you know. I haven't found any asexual kissing partner. I haven't ever been kissed by an asexual guy yet. It's a very interesting concept. Anyway, I think we're going to leave it at that for now. Yep, you've made yourself 100 times more attractive now. What? Because I'm into kissing. Like, yeah, I love it. I just so love it. It's really nice. I have clothes attraction as well, Ronald. Before I go, what clothes do you wear? Do you wear street clothes at all? Do you like wear hoodies and jeans and stuff? Because that's the type of look. Yeah, you love kissing. Oh man, this is getting a very passionate, romantic, live YouTube video. It really is. Like anyone who's aromantic watching this, they're probably like seeing romance unfold in front of their eyes. You do understand that, don't you? Well, I do get a lot of aromantic people saying I don't understand romance. Like, what's it like? So I kind of guess they might Shall we switch the passion to some form of chat? Ha ha ha. And what would we chat about? Kissing. Sorry. Oh, dearie me. It's getting a bit hot in here. Oh, it's so funny. I was making a joke actually at the mini asexual meetup yesterday because it was hot, and I started, I love to make you blush even more. You're being very asexy, Ronald. What type of asexual are you? Are you a grade A or are you just a strong heteromantic? I'm just as excited. Oh my god. I need to calm down. You're making me feel very hyper. You know I'm a hyper romantic, Ronald. This means my romance level shoots up quite quickly. Do you understand this? It's like, woo! Richter scale. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there because I think people who are watching this, you're hyper romantic too. No way. Anyway, I think people probably want the more romance the better. Yeah, I know. It's lovely. But I'd like it to share someone with over in the UK. If you can ever get over the UK. Could you check if you got my email though? Oh, do you want me to check now? Yeah, I'll check while I'm online because obviously we can't message each other else. Let me check. Okay, before I go off here. So let me just check for you that I've got your email okay while I'm live. I won't show people the email because I know it will be private. So Sri Lanka's a heck of a long way. Let's have a look. I need to go to my asexualized one. Yeah, just don't say my email out loud. Oh my god. Okay, I won't say your email out loud. Oh, hi. Yeah, it's I've got, oh god. Sorry. I'm dropping you now. Right, okay. Yeah, I've got it. Oh, right, okay. Thank you. Wow, okay. You live a really long way away. But yeah, sure. I've got your email. I'll email you back. So yeah, definitely got your email. I love your name. Because I won't say it, but your screen name's different to your real name. I love your real name. It's beautiful. I'm very openly asexual, by the way. I do have to let you know that if any guy ever does end up in a relationship with me, that I won't be shy and say it. Actually, my email explains where I am, and I've got a decent amount of family in the UK, so coming over won't be an issue at all. Oh, wow. That's really good. Do you have Skype, Ronald? I'm calling you Ronald in here. Do you have Skype? Because I got Skype if you want to Skype sometime. Anyway, I better say goodbye to all the viewers because I think it's time to close off now. Thanks very much for tuning in. Yes, me too. Love it. We could Skype sometime if you want. That'd be great. So basically, I'm going to sign off now. I want to say thank you very much for Ronald for coming and viewing my channel and bringing romance into my life very quickly. And I want to say thank you to Martin so much for watching this. I want to say thank you to Michael for watching this. Thanks for live streaming. Sounds great. I'd love that. Let's chat there. Yeah, let's chat on Skype. I'll email you my Skype ID. Okay, it's really nice to see you all. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you're not already subscribed and you're watching at the moment, please subscribe. Hit that bell icon as well so you get notified every time I post a new video and go live. And don't forget, this is Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, so I've got a couple of days of doing live streams. I'm probably going to do more live streams going forward because I absolutely love being live. Even if things happen that are kind of like out of the blue. I just think live is so good. I can connect with you guys. I see that you watch me for a long time and I really appreciate that because I know I go off on tangents and it's kind of hard to keep up with me sometimes, but at least the live streams are not boring, right? Because I'm talking about 55,000 things at once. It's kind of hard to get bored because you're trying to pay attention to what I'm saying. Well, at least I hope it is. Anyway, and thanks, Michael, if I haven't already thanked you. Thanks, Michael, Ronald, and Martin. Really appreciate you tuning in. And if you think that you've got friends, to everyone else, apologies if I took most of our attention. So, yeah, if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you've got any friends that you think might benefit from this video, then please share it with them. And I will see you on tomorrow's, well, now later today's, because it's already Monday, in the UK video. So take care. See you soon. Bye. Bye.